Us over to Uasin Gishu County, where we have a financial analyst standing by to just also chip in on this conversation we're having this afternoon, the state of the economy. How is Kenya performing in regard to economic management? Many thanks, and perhaps from Uasin Gishu County, which is also known as Kenya's bread basket, because it captures a number of areas that produce maize as well as milk production. Perhaps looking at the impact of the Jubilee government, what would be your comment around enabling the environment for doing business? Well, and we'll be getting back to Eldoret once that line is sorted out. But right now I have with me another interesting panel. And joining me this afternoon, we have Maurice Odur, an investment analyst with Cyton. Many thanks for making time. Just in the middle there, we have Johnson Derry. He's an analyst with ABC Capital. And to my far end, we have a gentleman who is going to be giving us some crucial answers. And that is Engineer Kimori. He's the county executive member in charge of water, energy, environment, and natural resources. Many thanks, gentlemen. Perhaps just to kick off the conversation, from where we sit right now, many Kenyans are yet to be able to access decent and affordable housing. We are looking at close to 22,000 mortgages that have been taken up. And on the flip side, you see property developers saying there's booming business. Perhaps, Maurice, where's the disconnect?
Thank you, Abby. If you look at the housing status in Kenya, where we are, especially if you look at to where we want to be in terms of Vision 2030, of course, housing falls within the social pillar of the Vision 2030. There's still a lot more work that need to be done to enable Kenya to access housing. I think interest rate cap was one of the mechanisms to make loans affordable, to make mortgages affordable. But where we are, whatever we are seeing that has happened since that, there's a lot more work to be done to ensure that there's a lot sort of more transparency and more flexibility in terms of environment that we operate in.
All right.
But on the flip side, if you look at again the way you said that the property developers are celebrating booming business, the thing is that the few that are capable, that can afford, they can actually afford. But those who doesn't know, the most people on the lower end of the pyramid, there's still a lot more work to be done for them to access decent and affordable housing facilities.
And perhaps, Derry, what needs to be done to make housing affordable?
Well, there are two ways to look at it. I think there's a supply side. Now that's a function of how many units can be brought to the market in a day, and I don't think we can do too much on that side. But on the demand side, a lot of people usually focus on credit, but I think the most important part is the income part. So for me, we just have to find a way to make Kenyans a little bit more productive generally in the economy, and that way they'll be able to afford more, as opposed to bringing prices down. I don't think that's a winning proposition.
And Engineer Kimori, of course, you run a very crucial docket for Nairobi County, and majority of Nairobians have been experiencing water shortages. The taps are running dry, and I mean, in terms of cleanliness also, it's still a big issue that is yet to be fixed. Perhaps, where are we getting it wrong?
First of all, I'm in charge of a doctorate which is in charge of environment, water and energy.
Yeah.
You have alluded to the shortage of water in Nairobi. Yeah, it's true. The demand of Nairobi as we speak right now is 740,000 meters cubed per day. In our normal supply, we only supply around 550,000 meters cubed. However, at this time we are having a drought, especially at our water source that is around the Abadeas because of the less rains. We are only able to supply, as per yesterday, 420,000 meters cubed.
Okay.
So, but that is not really an issue to worry about because we are now redistributing, famously called rationing, water in Nairobi. However, there are some areas we are not touching especially the airport, the CBD, and the hospitals.
All right.
So basically, there is no much cause for alarm because we are expecting the rains to come at the end of this month.
All right. Perhaps, gentlemen, just pause for a minute. We want to engage Mr. Kiprono, who is coming to us from Eldoret, and perhaps just walk us through what are some of the key aspects that many people have been citing as a challenge in Eldoret.
Thank you very much, Abby. And I think to start with your question that you asked previously is that the current economic situation is, well, it could be bad, but it's not as bad as it could be in the next, let's say, 2 years when we start servicing most of the loans that we've kind of borrowed. For example, you see, the loans that we pay or servicing the loans supposed to come from the budget. And if we are not generating enough revenue, then it means Kenyans are going to pay or to carry the burden of paying those loans. For example, 3 years ago, we were paying, around that 6 billion, of our debts. But this year, we're paying around 97 billion, But we haven't serviced the loans from Eurobond, from SGR loans, from, the syndicate paid in 2015. And those are happening next year, 2018, 2019, and of course going forward.